Not only are the tariffs not sustainable, but the deals will not be done.
It makes me nervous for the president's overall agenda.
There is a reason why all of these crypto grifters are giving him all of the money that they're giving him.
Let's hop into a CNN panel as they discuss some of the new revelations being talked about behind closed doors of a possible Trump tax plan, including a possible tax hike on the wealthy. You heard that right. So buckle in, leave us a like first if you can. It helps us out. It helps the video out more importantly. And let's get right into the panel.
Makes me nervous because this is the core DNA of the Republican Party, not to raise income taxes of any kind. That's number one. Number two, I can understand the political impulse because if you do it, it takes off the table the Democratic attacks. Oh, you're just cutting taxes for the wealthy.
They would throw parties for him, probably, because this is what they've wanted.
Number three, what I worry about tactically is that it will probably split the Republicans in the House and the Senate. You may have some that go with him and some that don't. And it's already a fraught enough process to get reconciliation done that this could be a wrinkle. The most important thing they can do is make permanent the president's tax cuts. If they don't do that, that'll be the largest tax increase in American history. That's project one. To me, if this endangers that makes me nervous for the president's overall agenda.
First, I feel the need to say even the smallest increase, if Trump gets Republicans to concede and back tax increases for the wealthy, I mean, I am all for it, right? Though it will be hilarious watching MAGA tell us Kamala Harris's tax plan is actually America first and good for the middle class and the lower class, but only if it has Trump's name on it. Though, I mean, some context is needed because, I mean, that kind of vision of it misses the reality. Essentially, Republicans are just scrambling right now. Mike Johnson publicly stated they won't be able to afford the entire $4.5 trillion in tax cuts they planned, which, to remind you, was already a plan without no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, campaign staples that Trump already admitted he was lying on. And now they're having to cut it even more from that because they can't fund it. Doge fails, tariffs fails, everything has failed. So they're scrambling for solutions where Trump said, well, if Congress wants to raise taxes for those making over $2.5 million by 2%, I won't be against it, all while leaving the other massive tax cuts still in place. So it's not like a tax increase. It's just like let's make it minimally smaller of a tax cut.
Not only are the tariffs not sustainable, but the deals will not be done fast enough. So if you look at the three different ways that the Treasury Secretary has talked about raising money, right, he has said it would be a combination of Doge, things around efficiency, IRS, et cetera, tech, right? We've talked a lot about that. The trade deals, but the trade deals are going to take time, right? Most of those trade deals will not be done until the end of the year. And so now what you have to ask yourself is, where can we raise the funds? Now, this is only going to be about $68 billion over the next 10 years, so it's not going to be the fix.
You mean raising the taxes?
Raising the taxes on the rich from 37 up to 39.6, I think it is, if you're making
just
$2.5 million.
round it up to 40, it sounds better.
It rounded off, yeah.
And as more context comes in, you'll see that this becomes clearer and clearer to be just an optics move. I mean, the tax increase, as she stated, only would raise about $68 billion over the next 10 years. So cut that from the $4.5 trillion total for the cost of the rich guy tax cuts, and you have what? 0.5% smaller of rich guy tax cuts. Like, great job, Trump. It reads more as, again, an optics move and their panicked first-ditch solution to failing massively on their promises. They need a distraction from that. So it's like, oh, let's start a discussion about if liberals will deny tax increases if Trump signs off. And they really just thought, like, essentially that these tariffs would bring in trillions. Unfortunately, they've crashed our economy into negative growth. They thought that Doge would clear up $2 trillion. Unfortunately, they fell 99% flat of that goal, not even cutting $100 billion. So now they have nothing. Our economy is barreling towards recession, and Trump has literally had to punt on every single position he campaigned on, while MAGA is still telling us that he's doing great.
I will believe it when I see it, because I think there is a reason why the wealthiest men in the world were all standing there at his swearing in. And there is a reason why all of these crypto grifters are giving him all of the money that they're giving him at these fundraisers. I really have an issue when and I've heard a lot of people talk about short-term pain and it'll be done by the end of the year. The thing is, there are a lot of people in America who make a lot less money than us sitting around this table who don't have until the end of the year to endure short-term pain, who can't pay for their groceries today.
And I understand
so
that
for
point,
whom
but I would
those
say you
tariffs
go back to
are
Americans that lost their
life-changing.
jobs. You go back to Americans that lost their jobs in manufacturing in towns that disappeared and tell them that their long-term pain of losing an entire industry and their family and something they...
First off, manufacturing literally surged under Joe Biden. So what are you talking about? Oh, and why did that happen? Not because of tariffs, but because of massive infrastructure investment. You know, what actually drives manufacturing. And he did that to massive tune, something Trump failed to do in his first term that he promised and ran on doing, and that he's now neglecting to do this time around. But on the tax front, I really do want to put a pin on this because, you know, acted hype at the beginning, but reality is going to have to set in. Again, if Trump does want to get Republicans to say tax increases are good, that's a win in my book. Republicans conceding that, that's the win. But like, this is nothing but optics, albeit it is a smart play if they try it, because it does, one, work as a distraction from negative economic growth, from Mike Johnson publicly admitting they cannot afford the tax cuts that Trump promised in his agenda, and it forces Democrats to be in the tough spot, in a tough place, because if the tax bill goes to Congress as is, like everything else is the same, but hey, over 2.5 million now, we're increasing 2%. Democrats should still vote no on the bill. It's still going to be a $4.4 trillion cut, right? That's going to be the cost. That's still going to send us massively in the debt. It's still going to disproportionately favor the wealthy, and there's no way we can afford it. Plenty of regulars, however, won't really know this much about economics, about legislation, and they'll just be like, oh, well, look, the Democrats are voting against tax increases because Trump is doing them. They are partisan. So that makes it somewhat a smart play, but in reality, it just makes the largest tax cuts in history a fraction of a percent smaller, while all the big tax cuts that we're against as the left are going to be made permanent, where I also guarantee you this 2% tax cut will be like temporary.